Welcome back, baseball fans, as we continue this Out of the Park Baseball 26 Legends in the Making playthrough. We are wrapping up the 1990s today in this episode, where we have been having some success getting close to the World Series. We've only wrapped up one World Series, though, despite some impressive regular season performances. So I like our chances this time. Unfortunately, as you can see, Kevin Brown, because we misplayed it and didn't sign him fast enough, and we could have got him for I think it was $6 million a year. I got him to agree, and look at this contract he ends up signing. So unfortunately, we missed out on him. He went to the Dodgers, kind of fitting, but we did get Kurt Schilling for not far less, but for less than what Brown signed for it. And we have Johnson and Schilling right around the same time they went to the Diamondbacks as that 1-2 punch. So that's bodes well for us. We still have Tom Glavine and Greg Maddux there as well. David Wells is going to step into the rotation for us. We've got Trevor Hoffman closing things out. Tom Hinkie's still there. Mesa Franco. Mike Timlin's a new addition. But the big new addition, remember, is Barry Bonds, who we traded for. Who did we give up again? We gave up Rondell White, David Cohn, and Jose Acevedo. I think that's going to be worth it because now we have Biggio, Edmonds, Bonds. Edmonds is going to be in right. Galarraga, Matt Williams, Andrew Jones in center. Paul O'Neill is also there, and he had a fantastic season in 1998, so I don't know where to go with that. But I kind of hope he doesn't take his player option and goes elsewhere to free up some cash for us. We have Vizquel there at short, and then we have Charles Johnson and catcher. So I love this team. I like our chances. Before we get going, let's look at the Hall of Fame. Nolan Ryan and Gary Carter both in on their first year. Nolan Ryan deservedly so. I mean, the guy didn't throw as many no-hitters as he did in real life. I looked and scanned through to see as far as no-hitters go. But he did have quite a few. And there's a no-hitter. He had 1, 2, 3. Yeah, just 3. A little disappointing. He couldn't quite get the same dominance, but he was great for us. 383 wins and 5,700 strikeouts, almost 5,800. So he vested both of those in our season's playthroughs. So that's awesome to see. And I'm excited to kick off the end of this 1990s era. We are going to hopefully see us up on the top. We've won 22 World Series. We're still 5 away from where the Yankees are. So hopefully we can get there. But let's find out and get to the All-Star break. Well, things are going well at the All-Star break for us. We are 65-23 as we've been seeing things similar to this. 12.5 games up. The Pirates were keeping pace for us for quite a while. Good to see the Dodgers with Kevin Brown, who threw a 6-hit shutout against us on opening day. 12 games back, so we won't have to face them in the playoffs, we're hoping. The Mets are 2.5 games up over the Expos. Look at this. The Tampa Bay Devil Rays in their first season are 3 games up in the AL East, led by Tony Gwynn hitting 356. Good for him. Shane Andrews. I mean, they have Paul Molitor, another former one of ours, at 41, hitting 309 still. There's no way they keep that up, right? They just don't have the offense, but that's shocking. The Twins are a game up over over Cleveland and the White Sox, which tied in wins, just 2 fewer losses. The Rangers are sitting 6.5 games up in the AL West. The Yankees are a half game up in the wild card, while the Pirates are 5.5 up in the NL. Now, when we look at the batting leaders, Larry Walker is hitting 366, continuing a massive career he's having. McGuire is at 34 home runs. 98 is the year of the home run chase. We'll see if he can get to that 70 or not. It's not looking like it, but he already did it once. Garcia Parra and McGuire are tied at 73 RBI. Ricky Henderson with 29 stolen bases. McGuire with an 1186 OPS. Nomar with a 6.5 WAR. Pudge Rodriguez with a 19-game hitting streak. Molitor's currently sitting at 16. Jeremy Gonzalez had a 2.21 ERA so far. Carlos Perez at 13 wins. Roger Clemens with 148 strikeouts. David Cohn having a resurgence after a couple down years with us, so that good for him. Randy Myers with 21 saves, and Mike Messina, who got traded to Boston from the Cubs, thankfully, is sitting there with a 4.1 pitcher WAR. Carl Everett in the NL is hitting 361. Kirby Puckett is having another good season. I knew he would do well seeing things out. I think he got to hit number 2,500. Yeah, 2,500 hits, 249. He should have a shot. No, he doesn't have a shot at the Hall. I guess he just hasn't put up the overall numbers. That's shocking. Sammy Sosa sitting at 28 home runs. Bonds is one behind him. And Canseco at 26. How many did Canseco have in 98? He had 46 himself for Toronto. I forgot about that completely. Sosa's have got 81 RBI. Todd Helton for Colorado is getting it done with 76 so far. Omar Vizquel leading the way with 27 stolen bases. Manny Ramirez with a 105.3 OPS. Chipper Jones with a 5.3 WAR. Andrew Jones is up there with 4.1. Edgardo Alfonso with a 19-game hitting streak. Kurt Young, 1.57 ERA. 1.57. The guy never pitched again after this. And what is this coming from? He never got anywhere close to it. He hasn't even been in the majors for 6 years. And now he's lights out. Oh, he's pitched 10 starts, 12 relief appearances. That's fascinating. But Schilling at 1.9 and Maddux at 2.11. Maddux is 15-2 so far. Strikeouts go to Randy Johnson at 156. Jeff Shaw is sitting there with 28 saves. And Kurt Schilling with a 5.8 pitcher WAR. Hoffman's just not getting the save opportunities. He's not blowing saves. We're just winning by a lot. Let's check out the All-Star games. The All-Star rosters, Clemens and Cone both made it. Millwood, Messina. John Smoltz gets the start, though, out of Boston. Troy Percival as the closer role. Ivan Rodriguez getting there for catcher. Wally Joyner getting it at first base, beating out Delgado. McGuire also gets a start. John Olerud's in. He's in there. Lou Whitaker at second. Jeff Bagwell at third. Still can't get in the game at first because of McGuire. Garcia Parra at short. Ricky Henderson at left. We've got Trinidad Hubbard. I don't know him, but he's having a good season. Rondell White for Baltimore got an all-star appearance. Bernie Williams in center. And then Larry Walker in right, who's just made that kind of his own. 5 all-star appearances now. In the NL, it's Johnson, but Maddux gets the start. Schilling also gets in there. Pedro gets back in there after some injury seasons. Good to see him back at full strength. Not for the Cubs necessarily, but still good to see him back. Mariano Rivera gets in there, but it's Trevor Hoffman with the start. Rob Nin's also there. Mike Piazza beats out Jason Kendall and Javi Lopez. Edgar Martinez at first. Biggio at second again. Vinny Castilla again there at third. Fernando Tatis is there, the man who I remember seeing hit 2 grand slams in an inning against the Dodgers. That was an exciting thing to watch. It really was. Chipper Jones at shortstop, interestingly enough, beating out Derek Jeter. Barry Bonds in left. Griffey in center. And Manny Ramirez in right. Andrew Jones does get a nod in his first season, though. Not his first season. First season starting full time. We'll put it that way. So things are looking good for us. We're at the All-Star break going well. We are first in runs scored. First in home runs, thanks to Bonds and Galarraga and Jones and Edmonds. Matt Williams is on the slide. We do still have him for 2 more years. I don't see him opting out. It'd be nice if he did, but I doubt he will. Paul O'Neill, we can check in on him. He's hitting 295, so not as strong as I thought. His OPS is really good, though. His slugging's a lot better than Edmonds, but they're rotating so much anyway, so we're not going to worry about that. How many stolen bases does Bonds have? Bonds has 12. Vizquel, 27. Okay. Well, and Dave Nielsen's hitting 238, so he is struggling. Ray Durham's doing okay. George Williams is doing fine, filling in for Charles Johnson on 6 starts. But we'll see where things go. Oh, we have to check out the All-Star Home Run Derby. See who wins that thing. Let's see who gets it. Canseco does. Canseco beat out Juan Gonzalez for the win, 8-7. And with that, we're going to get to the end of the season and hopefully find ourselves on the top of the victory, but see how the home run race plays out and anything interesting else that might happen as we get closer and closer to in and out the 1990s. The season has wrapped to a close in 1998, and we finished with a 109-53 record, 17 games up over the Pirates, who were tied with the second best record in the league. The Mets won by 9 games over the Expos, the Giants 10 games over the Dodgers, so we would not have to face Kevin Brown in the playoffs. The Pirates won by 7 games over the Reds for the wild card. Meanwhile, in the AL, it was the Red Sox who won 10 games over the new expansion Rays. The Devil Rays got in as the wild card by 1 game over their division rival Yankees. The White Sox 4 games up over Cleveland, and the Rangers 2 games with a 78-84 record, 2 games over the A's. The playoffs, meanwhile, in the division series, we were able to sweep the Pirates with Galarraga having 2 home runs, 6 RBIs, 5 hits in the 3 games, sending us to the League Championship Series. The Mets beat the Giants, White Sox over the Rangers, and Red Sox over Tampa Bay. We won 4-1 over the Mets, who we actually had a losing or barely had a winning record against in the regular season. They scored more runs than us, but their pitching just wasn't there. Bonds was the MVP, hitting 364, 5 RBI, a home run. But then in the World Series, it was the White Sox who won 4-2. They got off to a hot start, winning the first 2, and they picked up their 4th championship of their history, first one since 1984, and again, we fall short. So we keep getting close, but we keep coming up a little bit short. Now, when we look at the league leaders at the end of the season, Tony Gwynn, drafted by the Devil Rays, gets another batting title, hitting 357, getting 120 RBI. We had him batting in second, so he never got those RBI. Now that he was batting probably in third or fourth, he was able to rack up those RBI, passing 1,000 for his career. He's almost to 1,500 runs. He's over 3,000 hits. He still has another few seasons left in him at least. So he's going into the Hall of Fame, no problem. It was McGwire hit in the 1998 season, hit 69 home runs. So one shy of what he got in real life, 155 RBI. He is currently up to 579 home runs. He's 4 away from his total. He did end up hitting another 110 or so. So will he get up to 700 is the question now. He also led the league with those 155 RBI. Neon Deion Sanders, 53 stolen bases. McGwire with 1155 OPS. His teammate Larry Walker finishing second, who's had, I got to say, a phenomenal run here. He's been great. No MVPs or anything. I wish we would have had him. He'd be so good with us. Nomar Garcia Parra with a 9.5 WAR. 35 home runs, 331 average. He might be your MVP because of that. Doug Glanville had a 24-game hitting streak. Meanwhile, in the pitching category, Smoltz had a 2.36 ERA. Carlos Perez and John Smoltz both had 20 wins. Clemens with 243 strikeouts. Wickman had 40 saves. And Smoltz with an 8.7 pitcher WAR. Meanwhile, in the NL, it was Harold Baines getting the batting title at 347. Jose Canseco had 54 home runs in this year. Bonds got up there. Galarraga with 140 RBI, just fantastic run there. Biggio with 48 stolen bases, leading the league again. Bonds with a 104.8 OPS. Carl Everett had an 8.4 WAR, though, closely followed by Chipper Jones, then Bonds in third. Bill Mueller had a 23-game hitting streak. Kurt Young with a 1.78 ERA, besting Maddux. I mean, there he came out of nowhere. Out of nowhere. And we already looked at what his career was like. Greg Maddux had 22 wins, though. Kevin Brown had another fantastic season, and I can't help but think what might have been if I would have signed him sooner. I would have had him and Schilling and Maddux. Oh, man. Randy Johnson, 287 strikeouts. Jeff Shaw had 49 saves. Trevor Hoffman probably didn't get as many opportunities as my guess because we won by quite a bit. Kevin Brown with a 9.8 pitcher WAR, and again, the one that got away, what could have been. And Pedro, unfortunately, could be going into free agency here. Unfortunately, I don't think we have any money left to sign him. Maybe we can make some deals to try to trade or get some money freed up to make a run for him. I'd love to get him. I don't know that's going to happen. So let's take a look at the awards before we move to the draft. Gold Gloves in the AL go to John Smoltz, Pudge Rodriguez, John Olerud, Aaron Ledesman, Jeff Cirillo at third, Ray Ordonez at short, and the outfield goes to Greg Vaughn, Jeffrey Hammonds, and Richard Hidalgo. In the NL, it was Jimmy Key for the Astros. He's been showing back up again lately. What's his win total? 172. I thought he would have done better. Sal Fasano at catcher. Todd Helton at first. He's doing quite well for the Rockies in his second year, his first full season. Russ Davis at second. Matt Williams at third, picking up his second one of what I'm hoping will be a Hall of Fame career. He's still a little low there, but his overall numbers are fantastic. He should pass. Well, we'll see. He's been doing well. Royce Clayton at short, and the outfield goes to Kenny Lofton, Andrew Jones, and Steve Finley. Jones had a solid season for us, hitting .271 with 23 home runs and 77 RBI. Him and Edmonds out there in the outfield just gobbling up baseballs. Billy Wagner and Bob Wickman completely split, but Wagner's going to get reliever of the year in the AL for the White Sox. Troy Percival's also on that. No wonder their bullpen's so great. In the NL, it is Todd Jones picking it up over Trevor Hoffman. Jones had 33 saves and a 2.51 ERA to go with his 5 wins, while Hoffman was 2-6. Pretty comparable. No complaints, though. Roberto Hernandez, Jason Christensen, equally as deserving as well. Christensen with a 1.47 ERA. Silver Sluggers at catcher in the AL goes to Chili Davis, McGuire at first, Lou Whitaker at second, Caminiti at third, Nomar at short. And the outfield was Reggie Sanders, Rondell White, who we traded away for Bonds. Glad to see him getting his playing time. Larry Walker in right, and Rob Ducey at the DH. In the NL, Steve Paris at pitcher, Piazza at catcher, Mo Vaughn at first, Chuck Knobloch at second, Scott Rowland for the Mets at third, Chipper Jones for the Mets at short. That is a tandem on the left side of the infield. And the outfield was Barry Bonds, Ken Griffey Jr., and Manny Ramirez. Rookie of the Year went to Butch Husky in the AL over Millwood and Mark Sweeney. Husky hit .284 with 24 home runs, 122 RBI. Not a bad season. In the NL, it was Fernando Tatis. Almost unanimously, Oduke got a vote. But Tatis, 32 home runs, 75 RBIs, 297 average. That was a fantastic year. And the Cy Young went unanimously to John Smoltz, picking up his second one. He is just crushing it. He's already up to 149 wins, 2,000 strikeouts, a 57 WAR. He's no doubt going to go to the Hall of Fame because that's just going to continue and continue. What's his contract like? He's already signed an extension. Pretty hefty one. And it is Greg Maddux picking up another one, beating out his teammate Schilling. Pedro and Kevin Brown both picked up a vote as well. Randy Johnson got up there. Kurt Young, no first place votes despite that. He just, such an odd season. 11-6, 60 walks, 79 strikeouts, a 1.78 ERA. He started 24 of his 36 games. So bizarre. Maddux still picking up his 4th Cy Young on his run here. And it is MVP goes to Nomar, beating out McGuire and Smoltz, who picked up 2 first place votes. Larry Walker finishing 3rd. And Chipper Jones gets the MVP, beating out Bonds and Everett. And Maddux picked up a vote, but Chipper hitting 134 RBI, 318 average, and 36 home runs. Fantastic season for him. So it is time to check out the first-year player draft. The big names, it looks like, are Josh Hamilton, Carlos Pena, Victorino, Brian Roberts, Victor Martinez, Ben Sheets, Jake Peavy. So it's going to be interesting to see who we can get way down in 31st. If we look at the potential mock draft, they have us taking Jorge Cantu. Fine. We'll see who's out there. But I'm not excited about that one. It's okay. There'll be players. Mark Burley's in this one. I did mark him. There's solid players. I don't know there's anybody who's just super exciting, but there are definitely players that we can use and will be of service and have good careers here. And the Phillies are probably going to take Hamilton. They did not. They took Ben Sheets. Atlanta's going to take Jake Peavy, building pitching, which leaves the Anaheim Angels to pick up Josh Hamilton at 3rd. 4th pick goes to Victor Martinez for the Tigers. The A's take Justin Morneau. The Blue Jays get K-Rod. Baltimore takes John Lackey. Didn't even see him showing up. Aaron Harang to Seattle. Florida takes Matt Belisle. Carlos Pena to the A's. Eric Bedard to the Rockies. Ryan Dumit to the Padres. The Orioles get Ryan Madsen. Alfonso Soriano, another one that I missed. not bad at all to the Astros. Ryan Ludwig to the Rangers. J.J. Putz to the Brewers. The Royals get Scott Atchison. Carl Crawford's still out there. Not a bad player. Mark Burley's still there. And Hank Blaylock had a good run. How long of a run did he have? Not as long as I thought. He was one that showed a lot of potential. So the Expos get Brian Roberts. The Dodgers, Arubio Durazo. Mark Mulder, another solid one, going to the Cubs. The Reds get Shane Victorino. Matt Diaz to the Twins. Crawford goes to Cleveland. The Yankees get Jason Frazier. Marlon Byrd to Cleveland again. Lyle Overbay to the Mets. The White Sox get Alex Rios. Barry Zito, missed him too. Only a 3-star. I mean, after Oakland, yes, he did struggle, but man, him and Mulder and Hudson were just amazing for the A's. And then the Pirates are going to take Brett Myers. When do we get a pick? Brandon Phillips goes to the Red Sox, which means Mark Burley's still out there. Why would we take Coco Crisp when Mark Burley's out here? We got a 200-game winner on our hands. Make sure they're not missing somebody, but yeah, that's a no-brainer. Mark Burley it is. We'll take him. Tampa Bay's going to take John Roush. And to wrap up the first round, Oscar Villarreal goes to the Arizona Diamondbacks. All right, so free agency is about to start. I'm going to wrap up this draft, and we'll see what we do. Can I make a run for Pedro? Not really sure because we don't really have any money left. $3 million. We got to up this, though. We're going to up that quite a bit. $3 million, $1 million for extensions. We're tied into a lot of teams. O'Neill is leaving. We don't really have a spot for him. We could try to trade away Wells to free up some money. Dave Nielsen, he's just a solid, backup guy to have around. But at this point, he could probably go. Everybody else is getting more expensive. Biggio's contract ramps up. Schilling's ramps up. Matt Williams is one I wouldn't be upset to go because we do have Eric Chavez, but he's not going to waive his no trade clause. He's got the 10-5 going. So we'll see what we end up with, but maybe we can wheel and deal and make something happen. So let's jump ahead to 1999. All right, opening day 1999, and here we go. We are set to wrap up the 1990s, and you'll notice our starting rotation, we did make some moves to free up enough money to get Pedro. I wanted to go all in and have perhaps the greatest pitching rotation of all time. If we don't win the World Series this year, I'm at a loss. So we did make a deal. We sent Dave Nielsen and Tom Hinkie to the Reds to get LaTroy Hawkins, who I thought that's going to be a good solid pickup for us, and Adam Kennedy, but that freed up about $6 million or so that we were able to use. We were able to get Pedro on a deal. We gave him an opt-out after 6 seasons because that's kind of where he peaks. If he wants to opt out, that's great. It would save us some money. We do have Eric Chavez up at the big leagues, but he's going to be backing up Matt Williams. We got Mark Burley in, the minor leagues. Zambrano's there. So we've got guys who can come up after these guys are done. Hoffman's going to be our closer again. We did sign Jesse Orozco just at the end as well to help us with the relief. So we've got Craig Biggio, Omar Vizquel, Barry Bonds, Andres Galarraga, Jim Edmonds, Andrew Jones, Matt Williams hitting all the way down in 7th, and Charles Johnson in 8th. With Pedro, Johnson, Maddux, Schilling, and Glavine being the rotation. Again, I don't know if we don't win this one, I don't know what's going to happen. But the Hall of Fame voting results, Gary Nolan, who I'm not familiar with, he did lead the league in wins 3 times from the 60s all the way to 1993. He started in 19. Had 333 wins, 2,900 strikeouts, 79 WAR. He got 2 All-Star appearances. In real life, he only played to 1977. And he didn't really have that great of a last few years. But he was steady. So congratulations, Gary Nolan. And then our guy, Oral Hershiser, getting in with just 161 wins. 11 seasons is all he had, all with us. He retired after 1993. He should have gone another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more seasons potentially. He got to 204 wins, 2,000 strikeouts, and 55 WAR. Here he got 46 WAR with us in just 11 seasons. 1,400 strikeouts. He led the league in ERA 4 times, wins 3 times. He did pick up 3 Cy Youngs. Had just enough to get himself into the Hall. I'm surprised he got in, actually, with those numbers. Caru's still on the outside looking in. So did Dave Parker, Jerry Koosman, Fred Lynn, Vida Blue, both get dropped. So that's where we're at, getting ready to wrap up the 1990s. I mean, this was the era of Pedro and Johnson. I don't know if this was the season. I know it was right around here where he had the 3 up, 3 down against 3 major sluggers at the All-Star game, Pedro did. So I'm excited here. I want to see what he can do. We're in his 11-2 WAR season. Let's see what he can do, and we're going to give him the run support. We have a good defense behind him as well. Biggio's there. Vizquel, we know what he can do. Bonds is out there. Edmonds is in right, and Andrew Jones in center. Matt Williams has won some gold gloves. Charles Johnson behind the plate. This is it. We're going all in. So let's get to the All-Star break so we can see how this thing's shaping up. Well, we went all in on the pitching, and the pitching has been carrying us. Now, we're not off to our best start. We're below the 700 winning percentage, but we're doing well. 7 games up on the Pirates, who the Pirates, I mean, they've got Piazza. They just signed, who did they trade for? I don't remember, but they got McGriff. They got Brett Boone, Edgardo Alfonso. They got John Burkett. Mariano Rivera's back there in the closer role. They're doing quite well. The Cubs did lose Messina, so that makes us happy. The Mets are 1 game up on the Expos. We're 7 up on the Pirates. Like I said, the Giants are 6.5 up on the Dodgers, and the Pirates are 1.5 up on the Dodgers in the wild card. The Red Sox are running away with the AL East, 11 games up in the Tampa Bay Devil Race. I don't know what happened last season, but they're not doing it this year. Tony Gwynn is hitting 365 for them, though. But the rest of the team is not performing. The Twins are 5 up on the White Sox, and the Rangers are 3 up on the Mariners, while the White Sox are 4.5 up on the Mariners for the wild card. When we look at the league leaders, Bobby Abreu's hitting 377. Gwynn is 365. At the end of May, he was hitting like 415. And McGuire, who's at 365, was also hitting 390 at the end of May. But he's got 43 home runs at the break. He's on pace for 80. He has hit his 600th and then some. So he is putting up some massive numbers. And he's hitting 365. In 1999, he hit 278. So I would expect him to slow down, but who knows? I've got all the best pitching in the NL, it feels like. We've got 119 RBI batted. What is that? 222 pace. Okay. Roger Cedeno with 27 stolen bases. And we have McGuire hitting 1.344 OPS with a 5.4 WAR. Vladimir Guerrero's got a 23-game hitting streak. Chan-Ho Park has a 2.91 ERA. Smoltz with 13 wins, 123 strikeouts, a 3.6 ERA. Hideo Nomo showing up there as well. Mike Jackson has 24 saves, and John Smoltz has a 4.1 pitcher WAR. In the NL, it's David Segui hitting 359. Bonds and Galarraga are in a duel for the home run title with 34 and 31 respectively. Manny Ramirez, just being Manny over there, is in the Triple Crown run with 350, 299, and 89 RBI. Eric Young's got 33 stolen bases. Jim Thome has a 1.181 OPS, barely besting Bonds and Ramirez, while Manny has a 5.4 batter WAR. Dimitri Young had a 22-game hitting streak, but in the pitching, where we went with Pedro, 1.75 ERA, Maddux at 2.79, Brian Bohannon, Pedro Martinez, and Kurt Schilling all have 11 wins. Does Maddux? Maddux only has 9. Pedro is 2 strikeouts better than Johnson, 158 to 156. And Trevor Hoffman has 25 saves to go with a whopping 4.50 ERA, though. Pedro has a 6.8 pitcher WAR, besting Johnson and Schilling. Hopefully, things are going to turn out well for us. Now, when we look at this, see, we're 4th in runs scored. Not bad by any means. We're 1st in home runs and stolen bases. We're just not as dominant offensively, but it's the starting pitching, not the bullpen, though. That is a little worrisome. But the defense is much better this time as well. So I'm hoping we're going to be able to carry through to the end. I mean, Rob Nin is out there. What's his contract like? On the trade block? Anything? Oh. We don't want to give any of these away, but That's intriguing. Okay. Well, I'm going to mess around with that. Maybe I'll bring in Rob Nin. I don't know if it's worth it. He is kind of, no, he would be great. So maybe I'll try to see what I can do, but let's get to the end of the season, see if I pick up Nin or anybody else for that matter to try to win our 23rd World Series title. We're running out of time to catch the Yankees, but we're going to see if we can do it. And to wrap up the 1990s, we had 115 wins, one of the best we've ever had, while the Astros finished with 105 losses. The Mets won by 6 games over the Expos. We won 20 over the Pirates. The Dodgers squeaked by a game over the Giants, which means we had to face the Giants, who beat the Pirates by 2 and won 97 games doing so. The Red Sox won 106 to get 25 games up over the Yankees. The Twins, 7 games over the White Sox. The Mariners, just a game over the Rangers. And the White Sox, 1 game over the Rangers to get into the playoffs. When we get to the playoffs in the division series, we were able to beat the Giants 3-1, even though we were 3-6 against them in the regular season. Andrew Jones hit a grand slam in the 9th inning of Game 4 to get us the win. But then a major upset. We were 2-5 against New York in the regular season. We won the first 3 games, first 2 in dominant fashion, only to lose games 4, 5, 6, and 7. It's a heartbreaker. And the one who beat us in Game 7 was our former guy, Chuck Finley. So it was brutal. But then going to the World Series, it went to 6 games as the Mets take home their first championship series after getting to their first playoffs last year. They finally get there and they get the World Series title. So hats off to them. But again, we come up short. We put everything we had into that pitching rotation, and it was great. I mean, it was dominant. And Rob Nin, we made a trade for him. We actually traded away a bunch of guys. Adam Kennedy, one of them, Indy Chavez. Not Eric Chavez, but Indy Chavez. And it solidified our bullpen. Things were going well. Just couldn't get over it. Just could not. We fell apart in the playoffs yet again, despite the dominant pitching. So good job, Mets. To wrap up the 1990s, let's check out the league leaders. Tony Gwynn got another batting title, hitting .366. In real life, he'd have 1 more season going, so we'll see, or 2 more seasons going. Let's see how he ends up doing. McGuire hit 71 home runs, which puts him at a grand total of 650 right now. Now, in real life, he had 2 more seasons where he amassed another 60 home runs in those, hitting .305 in the year 2000. So it's going to be interesting. Hit .329 this year. Will he be able to pull it off and pass Gibson up there? He also hit 190 1 RBI. A massive number. Cedeno got 50 stolen bases. McGuire with a 1243 OPS and an 8.3 WAR. Jeff Cirillo had a 29-game hitting streak. Chan-Ho Park a 3.26 ERA. In the pitching categories, it was John Smoltz with 24 wins and 217 strikeouts. Didn't get the Triple Crown, though. Mike Jackson and Billy Wagner tied with 40 saves, while John Smoltz had a 6.9 pitcher WAR. In the NL, it was Carl Everett hitting .348. Bonds had 63 home runs and Galarraga 46 in what's going to be his last season with us. He's out of contract and we're going to let him go, even though he's had some great seasons at the end here. It's just he's reached his peak, and I think he's going to falter sooner rather than later, and we don't really have the money. Galarraga did lead the league in RBIs at 151. Eric Young with 58 stolen bases. Bonds with a 1218 OPS and a 9.8 WAR. Dimitri Young had the hitting streak with 22. Pedro did get a 2.21 ERA, while Maddux won 20 games. And Pedro had a 280 strikeouts, while Johnson 276. Trevor Hoffman, 49 stolen bases, and Pedro with a massive 11-1 pitcher WAR. Absolutely outstanding. We did have a retirement. Paul Molitor retired, and we retired his number, so he spent a good deal with us, about 8 seasons. Finished up with Tampa Bay there at the end. He's going to end up with almost 3,800 hits, 258 home runs, 1,500 RBI, over 2,000 runs, 82 WAR, In reality, so he got 400 more hits than he really did, 300 more runs, 200 more RBI, roughly the same home runs, and roughly the same WAR. But he no doubt has a Hall of Fame career after those 3 MVPs that he got in a row, I believe. 88, 89, and 90 for us. So he should be a first ballot Hall of Famer if the writers know what they're doing. Let's check out the awards before we move into the first year player draft to see what has come about. There's some big names in this draft as well. We probably won't get any of them, of course. So starting with the Gold Gloves in the AL, John Smoltz winning yet another Gold Glove. Benji Molina at catcher, JT Snow at first, Placido Polanco at second, Robin Ventura at third, Mike Benjamin at short, Greg Vaughn in left, Chuck Carr in center, and Jermaine Dye in right. In the NL, Carlton Lauer at pitcher, Sal Fasano at catcher. First base goes to David Segui, Pokey Reese at second, Matt Williams, who has also played his last season for us. He did take advantage of his opt-out clause. I'm kind of glad. That means Eric Chavez can slot in there because Williams was starting to go on the decline, although the defense is still there. Mike Bordick at short. In the outfield was Michael Tucker, Andrew Jones, and Mike Cameron. And we are in the process. I think we just signed a long-term deal with Jones for 8 years. We'll have him till he's 30, which is about when he drops off immensely after that. His offense, I still take Edmonds as the offensive player, but Jones would be the defensive player. The AL reliever of the year goes to Billy Wagner with 22 first-place votes, beating out Derek Lowe and Chris Carpenter. Best NL reliever goes to Mariano Rivera, beating out Gabe White and Roberto Hernandez. Trevor Hoffman just way down here, despite a great season, but 1.81 ERA, 55 strikeouts, 39 saves, and a 9-4 record. Rivera very much earning it. The Silver Sluggers in the AL go to Chris Hoyles at catcher, McGuire at first, no surprise. Jeff Kent at second, Bagwell for the Twins at third. Again, how did the Twins not win it? But I guess it's how we don't with our pitching, just get beat in the series at the right time. Facing other super teams, if you've noticed, the records are all huge among at least 3 teams in each league. A-Rod gets it at short, hitting 53 home runs himself. Moises Alou out in left, Bernie Williams in center, Vlad out in right, and Ryan Klesko at DH with 36 home runs. Guerrero hit 353, 401, 650 with 42 home runs, 7.7 WAR. What a season. In the NL, it was Woody Williams, the old Padre, but playing for the Expos here. He 347 as a pitcher. Mike Sweeney at catcher, Jim Thome at first, 47 home runs for his new team, the Dodgers. I think this was his first year with them. It was. Roberto Alomar at second, Scott Rowland at third for the Mets that beat us, along with Chipper Jones at short. Those two just couldn't handle him. In the outfield, it was Bonds, Carl Everett, and Manny Ramirez. The Rookie of the Year in the AL goes to Corey Koski unanimously with his 22 home runs and 118 RBI, while it was Armando Rios barely beating out Jose Jimenez for the award with 23 home runs, 82 RBIs, 272. I forgot who he played for. Okay, it was San Francisco. Not a long career. Maybe that's why I forgot. J.D. Drew picked up a couple first-place votes along with Preston Wilson as well. And the Cy Young goes to John Smoltz, winning his third one, 97, 98, and 99. Third in a row. The Red Sox are thankful they have him locked up. Chan Ho Park picked up 3 first-place votes. And it was Pedro unanimously in the NL, beating out our former players of Kevin Brown and Chuck Finley. So all of these guys have played for us if they don't currently play for us. And so Pedro wins his first one in 1999. And he is at the peak of his powers in 98. He was even better in real life, it looks like. But he was with the Cubs here. Otherwise, he could have been fantastic with us. Even better. So we'll take it. And we got him for a few more seasons along with Johnson and Glavine and Maddux. So hopefully things will go well. But now let's take a look at the first year player draft. We're way down here in 34th. It stinks. You got these compensation picks. I mean, it's really rough because when you look at the mock draft, we are expected to take Angel Pagan. But number 1, Miguel Cabrera. 2, Albert Pujols, which isn't fair. Nobody knew about Albert Pujols. He needs to slip to us. Ah, if only we could get Pujols. Cliff Lee's in this one. Adrian Gonzalez, Mike Napoli, Jose Reyes, Josh Beckett, Jason Bay. Some good players out here. Adam Wainwright, maybe he slips to us. Grady Sizemore's out there. There are some really good players in this draft. Unfortunately, we're probably not going to get any of them, which is really, really frustrating since we're not picking up the championship. So let's wrap up the 1990s with the draft and see who goes. Tampa Bay, are they going to go Cabrera or Pujols? Tampa Bay is going to go with Cabrera, which means the Rockies are going to get Albert Pujols. Pujols is going to be hitting in Coors Field. That's going to be some massive numbers, I would expect. Houston takes Hong Chi Koo. I don't know him. Carlos Ruiz goes to the Royals. Justin Morneau to the Angels. Adam Wainwright to the A's. Went earlier than expected. Mike Napoli to the Braves. Bobby Jinks for the Orioles. Cliff Lee for the Tigers. Adrian Gonzalez to the Orioles. Again. John Lackey to the A's. The Brewers get Josh Beckett. San Diego, Mike Morse. Jason Bay to the Phillies. Garrett Atkins to the Cubs. Ryan Dumit to the Diamondbacks. Toronto, Chase Utley. Joe Hanrahan to the Reds. Jose Reyes to the Marlins. Padres, Edwin Encarnacion. Cleveland gets Josh Willingham. Brad Hoppy to the Yankees. Corey Hart to the Expos. The Mets get Kelly Johnson. Taylor Buchholz to the Rangers. Seattle, Grady Sizemore. Brandon Lyon to the White Sox. Freddie Sanchez to the Pirates. San Francisco gets Brandon Phillips. Johnny Peralta to the Dodgers. Jason Kubel to the Red Sox. Almost us. Xavier Nady to the Twins. The Red Sox then get Chin Ming Wong. We are recommended to get Dustin McGowan. I don't know Dustin McGowan, and that's probably why, because those are not good seasons. Who is out here for us? Willie Tavares, Rocco Baldelli. I mean, if nothing else, get him for the name. Or do we not sign the person we get? We do need a first baseman down the road because Galarraga is leaving. LaRoche is not a horrible player. Possibly. Let's check out our pitchers. Kazuhiro Sasaki. Just a short, brief stint for Seattle. We haven't seen Ichiro yet, have we? He'll be coming up soon in a year or two. Dontrell Willis is out there. He's not going to get there quick enough. He's behind too much pitching. Dontrell was so much fun to watch when he first came up. All right, we're going to take Adam LaRoche or Brandon Webb. Solid pitcher there. We could maybe get the low exploit. We're going to try Brandon Webb. Maybe he'll be great after that. So we're going to wrap this episode up here, and with that, wrap up the 1990s. And we will check out like free agency. There are some big names out there. Moises Alou, Al Leiter, Rob Nin from us. Roger Clemens is going to be out there. We're not going to be going for any starting pitching, that's for sure. Galarraga, Mark Grace, Matt Williams, Cal Ripken Jr., Jose Canseco. Lots of names are going to be out there. And so we're going to see what happens, but we're going to wrap this up when we come back on the next episode. We will be going over our league, our historical leaders, the record holders, see what's changed, who's been added to the record books, and we'll pick up with the 2000s in the next one. We are just 26 seasons away in this series. I want to thank all of you who have been joining me, all of those of you who have been leaving likes, those of you who subscribed. Thank you so much. If you'd like to help the channel out and you haven't done any of those and you're here, please consider doing those. So, you know what? Take care, and until next time, we'll see you on the next one.